It's been 36 days and countless phone calls since the Big Ten Conference decided to postpone the start of the football season, but breaking here on this Wednesday, some good news. The conference has decided to go ahead and reinstate the season starting in just a few weeks. Big Ten football is back. I'm thrilled to be joined by Barry Alvarez. Coach, I know how important this has been to you, and I know how hard it was to get to this point. Talk me through, if you could, what the tones of all these conversations were like once things like daily antigen testing, comprehensive cardiac testing, once those were brought up into the conversations. How did this change everything?
Well, you know, the issues that the COPC, the chancellors and presidents had, were medical issues.
Yeah.
And there were just too many question marks initially, things that weren't answered, that I agreed with their decision initially that you can't put the players back on the field with these medical questions up in the air and no answers for them. So as we progressed, we came up with more and more, the doctors came up with more and more answers. And in the end, they answered all the questions that the chancellors and presidents had. And then there was a lot of cooperation with a number of people that allowed this to happen. Yeah. You had coaches, you had athletic directors, you had doctors, a number of administrators that had to work together to make this happen. And the bottom line is we allow our student athletes to get back out on the field and play, and that's what they love to do.
With the role you were asked to play in particular, at what point along the way here, we've all been wondering, maybe when we get a chance to do this interview, at what point did you think that this could actually be a reality with the role you were asked to play?
Well, my role was to put a plan together and give different situations, different schedules that made sense, that we could present to the presidents and chancellors. But regardless of what we did, until we got answers to the medical questions, we weren't going to move forward. But I had meetings with 14 head coaches. That's hard. Yeah. You know, you got 14 different opinions. They're all strong. They want to make decisions. They want the best for their particular school. You have athletic directors. You have people in the Big Ten Conference. Everybody wanted to get the same thing done, but a lot of different opinions, a lot of different directions going. But in the end, it came down to the doctors and our medical personnel making decisions and having answers. We got more and more answers. Then it became a more of a possibility that they could play.
I mean, this is a big day in the history of the Big Ten. And this morning on BTN, Howard Griffith said, look, he thinks the schools that have the best strength and conditioning and athletic training staffs are going to be the ones who can find success this season. I know the schedule's not out yet. We got to wait towards the end of the week till we figure out what that looks like. But what gives you the confidence that Wisconsin, with who is here and what's in place, can get through this schedule?
Yeah, you know, we've been working, and I've mentioned this a number of times. This is really a good-looking football team. And they've been working very hard with our strength and conditioning coaches. Ross Kalagi heads up our strength and conditioning program. I've been impressed with the job that he's done. The players have bought into him. They're all in, and I feel confident we match up with anyone as far as strength and conditioning, and we're in a good place right now. We're in a good place as far as where we are conditioning-wise, where we are strength-wise. I feel real good about it.
I know you've probably talked to maybe 25 or 30 people this morning since the news came out, wondering, have you talked to Paul Chryst? And if you have, what was that conversation like?
I just talked to Paul, and Paul and I talk frequently. We talked late last night. Then as I got off the press conference, I talked to him just as I walked up here, and he's excited. He's really excited for the players, for his staff. They've worked hard in preparation. You never knew whether you'd ever get to this day, but now you know you have a schedule, you have a date when you're going to start, and now you practice a little more meaningful. So he's very excited.
I think it was August 11th. We had you sitting right over there, and you said, "Guys, I feel sick. I feel terrible." today?
Oh,
How
I
are
feel
you
elated
feeling?
today. I feel fired up today. We're going to play some football, and I'm excited about it.
Well, Coach, congratulations. And remember, as the conference laid out this morning, there will be no public sale of tickets, and fans will not be allowed at games, unfortunately, but there will be Big Ten football this fall. For Barry Alvarez, I'm Chris Hall for Wisconsin Badgers.